And after thanking you, sir, we moved straight to our next speaker of the day, Dr. Biswarup Ghosh. And I think he has already joined us. Dr. Biswarup Ghosh is a translational neuroscientist and biochemist with a comprehensive knowledge and experience in managing multiple in vitro and vivo research projects that are not limited to protein biochemistry, rodent models of Parkinson's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, spinal cord injury, neuropathic pain, and there are many other things that are there to talk about when we describe the profile of this gentleman. And this highly qualified person we have in our midst in this evening. And now you'd like to hear from him as to how to carry ourselves in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of this crisis, which is so novel that humankind is absolutely confused as to how to pass through it. So it's over to Dr. Biswarup Ghosh. Please, sir.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening to India. And of course, Dr. Sudeep, good morning. So that's thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you to the organizing committee, the Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management, and especially thanks to Gopal Chakraborty. So today, before going to the presentation, I just taking 1 minute to make it a little bit dilute, like, seminar means a lot of pressure. So I don't want to make any pressure to any students. So today, I would like to bring some knowledge base, like, regarding vaccine development and different kind of vaccines and how to defeat this COVID pandemic. So although it's not easy to defeat it so quickly, what Dr. Mukherjee said, I totally agree with him. So today, basically, we all know that we are under the second wave, right? That means we control the first wave is going down. Again, it started to get exponential growth. And we have 1.3 billion people in India, and worldwide, basically, there is a concern because we have a limited number of vaccines still today, which vaccination drive we did. It's not completely for the world, still it is not enough for the world. We need vaccinations for the world. It's not limited to any country. Nobody can be safe. Like, if only we are safe, we are not safe. We have to save our world. So it's a hard job. But we can take some preventive measure to defeat it. And we have to change a lot of strategic plan to keep rolling our day-to-day life. Job, education, health. So all are basically connected. We have to think the different strategic paths. So I'm going to present my presentations. So thank you. I would like to ask all the students, you can stop me anytime and you can make questions. I'm not sure I can able to give you all answers, but I will try my best. Can you see my screen? Anyone?
Yes, we can.
So thank you. So I am focusing on recent development of corona vaccines and awareness, especially needed for vaccination drive in India to protect from COVID second wave. So what I mentioned, COVID-19 pandemic right now is a global effect, right? It's a global phenomena. So we have to think differently, we have to act differently, and we have to act basically with social responsibility. How? That's I will explain slowly. So let's go the vaccine. Let's go the basic. What is vaccine? So through a vaccine, basically at a method, scientific method, so that we can, using the vaccine, we can artificially artificial make a system in our body to protect the infections, any kind of infections. So the vaccine history, there are so many types of vaccines are there. Okay, inactivated vaccine, recombinant subunit vaccines, conjugated vaccines, polysaccharide vaccines, protein vaccines, toxoid vaccines, live attenuated vaccines, DNA vaccines. There are so many vaccines types. So, and there are so many applications on that, because we know for the immunizations program, right? We have different vaccines we have already taken during our following the birth and during our childhood. Even now, adults are eligible for different kind of vaccines. So just a brief, live attenuated vaccine. You know, the mumps, chickenpox, they all are coming from live attenuated vaccines, where the pathogen is scientifically weakened or pathogenic capacity is destroyed. Then the live attenuated vaccine. Inactivated vaccines, the inactivating the pathogens by heat inactivations or radiation or chemical process during the process of vaccine development. And the example like polio, influenza, hepatitis, rabies, all are the inactivated vaccine. And even the Covaxins right now is the inactivated vaccine. So these are all different kind of vaccines, like DNA vaccines. We use some fragment of DNAs to make the vaccines. Toxoid vaccines, like tetanus, we use toxoid vaccines, like many bacteria release toxin, and then we scientifically detoxify with the help of formalin, and that is used for development of vaccines. So there are so many types. Recombinant vaccines, where we recombinate the vaccines, like means we incorporate the gene in a vector, and then we use it, for vaccine development. Origin and application of vaccines. Just briefly, I want to mention before going to the details. So we have a history of vaccines over 200 years. We have a known history. So I'm not going to all years by years, but I would like to mention that the variolations, like the Buddhist monk drank snake venom to confer immunity to snake bite in the initial early phase, long time ago. So then later, for the cowpox, like the variolations for smearing a skin tear of cowpox to confer immunity to smallpox. So in that, the first vaccination, the scientist Edward Jenner inoculated a boy with cowpox and later challenged him with smallpox. So we also know we recently have in 2019 the Ebola vaccines. So the vaccination, there is research is ongoing, and still today, like the people are talking about the mRNA vaccine is so quick, how we can believe it? But the mRNA vaccine technology research and going on basically last 20 years. So it's not the one day it came. So they tested with this COVID-19 virus to protect, and it works. That's why we have now 2 mRNA vaccines used in US approved for Vaccination Drive as an emergency use authorization. So vaccine can prevent so many diseases, and you can see the diseases, so many diseases, right? I don't want to make it all the names, but you can see we know all the influenza, pneumococcal, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, even polio. Right now, we already eradicated the polio in India. That's a great achievement, and it's due to the vaccine drive. So I want to make this slide because to understand the importance of vaccination drive. So with the use of vaccines, we can prevent disease. It is a true fact, but we need to the awareness, we need to act differently, because so many anti-vaxxers are acting right now against the vaccine drive. So that's the real challenge right now inside our society. So we know our national immunization schedule. After birth, we have to take so many vaccines because it's protect. When we take birth from mother, so we have maybe up to 1 year, we have some immunities, but then immunity fades, and we need to develop immunity with different diseases by using vaccinations. That's why we have vaccination drive as a national immunization schedules are there. How does vaccine work? So basically, in disease conditions, let us suppose first disease conditions, the pathogen we are getting infected, then our body act to make protections against the infection or the pathogens, and we have internal mechanism. We have internal mechanism to produce the neutralizing antibodies and memory T cells to make to make defense against the pathogens. The similar way we are doing vaccination drive. We have vaccines, and that vaccinations basically not a disease conditions we are giving. So we are artificially developing immunity in our body to protect the real infections. So that is the way vaccine works, and the vaccination drive is important in this respect, because today, every day, right now in India, if we talk about India, more than 1 lakh new cases of new infections are occurring, right? So it's a real threat. How? I will explain soon. So now, vaccine development status. There are a couple vaccines right now are in preclinical research or phase 1, phase 2 trials. And we have 2 vaccines, that is Covishield and Covaxin, that are right now we got as an emergency use approval by the regulatory agency of India. So the vaccination drive is continuing and we are getting vaccinated. So right now, up 45 years to elderly populations, vaccination drive is continuing. Remember, we have 1.3 billions people in India, and there are a lot of children are there. No vaccine yet developed for the children kids yet. So recently, one informations like Pfizer made a study, report a phase 3 study. Their vaccines for 12 to 15 years old vaccines, 12 to 15 year old kids are very effective. Like they said, like 100% effective. So in vaccine development, basically any vaccines is tested for adults, like for this kind of vaccines. And later, when we found efficacy or it works on adults, then the pharmaceutical company tried for the vulnerable populations like children. So we have to wait for vaccines against children to protect COVID-19. We need time. So we need patience. So now for the students, basically, I would like to mention about the vaccine development process. So we know right now the vaccine development steps. We know the preclinical research. So preclinical research, so basically the initial phase, we check on in vitro study or in vivo study whether it is giving some immunity, okay, on animals or in cell culture model. So if it works properly, then we need to take some basically on mouse model, monkey model, we test in preclinical study. If we found some immunologic activity or efficacy of the vaccine candidate, then it goes to the next level, the clinical research level, by having applications for investigational drug, IND. So we have to apply for that, and then a regulatory agency check the preclinical data, and they give license to continue phase 1 study to check on humans, right? For vaccine development, we generally we need to have the healthy volunteers, and then we have to go through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 study. In the phase 1 study, basically the safety and dosing. We check the safety and dosing. For safety is very important on this, because the side effects, we need to take care of the side effects, especially the adverse side effects. So very small, like 20 to 100 healthy volunteers is basically engaged during the phase 1 study. Then later, when we have good positive data, is the safety is tolerable, like acceptable, then we have to move to the next phase 2. and several hundreds of volunteers participate on that program. And then we see the safety again and the immunogenicity and that phase. So then it moves to when the data is positive, we have a really encouraging data in showing safety, immunogenicity, then it moves to phase 3. So in phase 3, there is basically hundreds to thousands of volunteers are needed to do this experiment, right? It's a one kind of human experiment, but it is under so many surveillances and so many preventive measures. So that's why we need to continue with phase 1 with minimum number of healthy volunteers. Then it moves to the hundreds, more numbers for phase 2, and then it goes to phase 3 when thousands of healthy volunteers participate. And we check, basically the pharmaceutical companies generally check the efficacy in the phase 3. And right now, you all know that Covaxin, Covishield all have some interim data of phase 3 clinical data, interim data, which is not completed yet. It's still under it is approved under generally emergency use approval. So they have this own efficacy, right? Covishield is around 70% and Covaxin is around 90%. So they have this own efficacies. So in this trial, basically 2 kind of groups. One is control group where the placebo is given, where no vaccine candidate is there, and then the other group generally the vaccine candidates the vaccine candidate was given. Then with time we check how many people are getting infected in both groups, and then the percentage of efficacy become they calculate. So this is the interim data, is not the ultimate data. With time, all the data basically gathered when, let us suppose 30,000 volunteers are given for phase 3 trials. So then with time, they need to check what time, how many people are getting infected, and this kind of like the efficacy data may change. Like it may become 70%, may come 80% from to 90%. It may happen. But in generally for COVID-19 vaccine, it is recommended if the efficacy is above 50%, then that can be approved. So that is a wide range right now. That means 50% means it may effective in 2 people. 1 people can be effective, like they may have protections, and one people may not have protections, but still we have to accept that, because that's the right now is a one kind of World Health Organizations gives the guidance relative for the acceptance of the trial. So now let's come to the vaccinations drive to the India. So what I mentioned previously, that currently we have more than 1 lakh infections every day. So now you can see the curve is very steeper. So it is expected, I am expecting also, that it may go more in future. And right now we know more than 1,64,000, maybe a little bit, the number is not the accurate, maybe it's every day, every time is changing. People, we lost them, right? So vaccination, how many, it's already, you can see so many vaccination, different dose of vaccinations, so many healthy volunteers. Initially the vaccination drive was given to the the frontline workers, and then right now it is applicable for 45 years with different comorbidities or without comorbidities. So that is the process right now going on, and it is continuing every day. But there are so many challenges. I would like to address so many challenges soon. So before going to that data, the hotspot right now is Maharashtra. In India, the hotspot, I would like to say the hotspot is Maharashtra. And you can see there is all active cases is like 4,72,000 approximately. And where West Bengal reported, West Bengal is like 12,775. So if you go the disease data, you will see the Maharashtra have 56,330. So more infection, more death. That's the formula. So in future we will see more infections and we will see more death. Although we are proud, like so many people are making their YouTube channels or something, we are feeling proud. India has so many immunity. But when the infection will increase and the death rate, although it's low, 1.5%, the death toll will be increase. So that's the threat. So how we'll protect our families? We have to work, we have to go out, right? There is no question. We cannot stop our working, right? There is a huge economic burden on society right now. So we have to work. So when a young man, let us suppose a young man going out, is a risk, right? So he's coming back home, may bring the viruses. And now in a home, we have parents, older people, they can get infected. So risks are there. There are so many risks. So it is like the strategic plan in future, like in US, what we are doing. We are going the workplace very like in a routine base, like in different shift. We are doing as much as possible work from home. So that is the current practice in US. And in future, India need to be start adopting that kind of practice so that we can do more work from home, so that we can carry less risks to home. Okay, because the risks, why I am talking about the risks, because if you go to different research data, you will see the death tolls over the world. The elderly people got infected more, and they died more, right? The number of death tolls from the elderly peoples are too much. So that's the concerning. Every family have their parents or more elderly people. So we have to protect everyone. So we have to protect me, like us, and we have to protect our family, and then we have to protect our society. So that's why everyone need to act with social responsibility. That's the social responsibility we need. But we are not doing this. You can see right now election is going on. So there is a huge chances to get infected, like so many other people can get infected, because the COVID, the COVID related guidance, the COVID are not maintained properly. It is not possible in a crowd place to maintain properly. And if you see the different kind of crowd or any political rally, so people are not wearing a mask. So that's the next concern in future. And not only that, in our system, the public transportation, majority of people are dependent on public transportations. And in public transportation, it is not possible to maintain the social distances. What we are talking about, every lecture, if you go, every speaker talk about the physical distances, hygiene, and masks, right? But we can maintain at least masks, hygiene, public distance. It is not possible for everyone, but it is possible for some people in the society. So I'd like to mention one important information, that masks. If let us suppose one people is infected and other people is not infected, if both have masks, there will be very less percentage of chance to get infected the other people, even they are very close to each other. There are so many research paper published. So I would like to ask everyone to make a new normal practice to having masks, okay, and try to as much as possible to make distances as much as possible, and maintain your old hygienes, like washing hands, washing, like not to touch your eye, nose and mouth. That is one of the key factor to get infected. So that's the everyone's protocol for preventing the COVID-19 pandemic. But that is not the only thing. We need to act with social responsibilities. I am coming later. That's the point. The infodemic. How will we tackle the infodemic? There are so many misinformations in the air. And in general, people who are non-scientific people, they don't know, they can't distinguish what is false and what is right. So that's the responsibility I was talking about. Those who knows better, who knows the science, they should take more responsibility in bringing more awareness in the society. So that's the social responsibility we have, because we know majority of the people don't know the science, and they don't know how, what they're doing. So basically the asymptomatic symptom, we have asymptomatic system, more than 85% people carry it. They can infect others. So we need to increase our tracing, we need to increase our testing. And if we get infected, then we have to stay home quarantine, or more severe, moderate severe, we have to hospitalize. That's the normal protocol. But the good thing is right now we have very good standard treatment options. Although we don't have any specific medicine still yet, but we have very good standard treatment, because doctors right now are very much aware about the current practice, what is going on, because we are going through this pandemic over years. So that's the good thing we have, right? But we have to take care, because if 1% people get severely infected, then we'll have a huge problem, because we don't have that capacity in the hospital in our country, because it needs ventilation, it needs isolation, and it needs so many special preventive care. So that's the challenge we have to address. But we need to address this infodemic too. We need to bring more awareness among general people. And this awareness, along with vaccination drive, along with improving the health primary structure, especially for standard treatment, collectively, we can slow down. We have to slow down. It is not possible to eradicate the COVID-19 function. Don't think about it. We have to bring out standard treatment more accessible to everyone, so that we can defeat this pandemic. And vaccination is so important, because through vaccination we can artificially create our body like more immune to fighting against the COVID-19 infections. So, but there are so many other people that I would like to mention, because awareness is needed. The media, so many media are really a concern to me. It may be concern to you, because if there is let us suppose side effects in a vaccine, there is side effects. There are so many side effects. It is reported side effects that can be tolerable, like some swelling, some fever, some itching, or something. So majority of the people who have comorbidities may suffer some side effects. That is tolerable, that is acceptable for every vaccinations. Sometimes rare vaccination, that rare side effect, that is the severe side effects, may occur, and that need to be addressed immediately. And that's why we need also literacy. You have to aware suddenly after vaccination you are feeling, let us suppose you are feeling a respiratory compromise. You should consult with doctor immediately and go to the hospitals, of COVID-19 hospitals, right? So if you are facing some swelling on your face, throat, then you should go immediately. If you have severe like allergy occurred after vaccination, you should take care immediately. So you need to know what to act, how to act immediately. So through that awareness, we can also minimize the severe the death due to the side effects. There are some deaths occurring throughout the world. It is reported for the vaccinations, that is the severe side effects. That is very rare, but still occurring. But if we increase the health literacy, if you act quickly, we can minimize that death too. So basically, that's the thing I would like to mention. And I would like to mention so many media, anti-vaxxer, YouTubers, and influential are misleading in the society and propagating fears. That's the most important, basically the challenge to today. So one people, let us suppose, getting severely facing severe side effect. So media is jumping on it. Whole day they are bringing that in front of people, millions of people, and it's making so many fears. The anti-vaxxers, you know, throughout the world, anti-vaxxers are there. So they have different propaganda. They don't believe on vaccines. Okay, so they are saying, like, you know, they believe COVID-19 vaccination cause infertility. They believe any vaccination can cause autism. But there is no scientific evidences that vaccination is related to infertility and inducing any other kind of any indications like autism. So people think they might get COVID-19 from the vaccine itself. If you take vaccine, you may be infected. So they are thinking like that way, but it is not the truth factor. Vaccine developed through inactivated version. Let us suppose the inactivated versions. So the pathogenic version is getting there is no pathogenic capacity. That is the inactivated vaccine, right? And the DNA vaccines, all the pathogenic portions is getting through recombinant DNA technology. We cut that portions, so we don't have the capacity of the DNA vaccines, to get infected. So they don't know the science. They don't want to believe the science. So we need to believe on science, and we need to move on science. So that's why we need to spread the good thing in society. But so many YouTubers right now during this COVID-19 pandemic, because so many young guys, they don't have any medical background. They don't have any medical background. They don't have any educations on to talk about COVID-19 infections. They are making so many videos, and all videos are getting millions view, and a lot of misinformations are there. So that's one of the drawbacks, like the threat towards the vaccination drive. So if people are getting feared, then vaccination drive may halt, like slow down. It will be not halt, because government is continuing their effort. So it will be slow down. People will hesitate, right? So the main purpose, the vaccination, what we are doing, we want to make people safe for future infection. Like what Dr. Mukherjee said, it will come again and again. Yes, I am also telling the same. We may find in future, maybe in 2 years later, it will come like influenza seasonary. But right now it started. It again will come. After this peak, it will go down. Again, it may come. So there are so many other waves may come, because it is right now global. It's not epidemic, it's a pandemic. So 100 years ago, we saw this kind of Spanish flu. During the Spanish flu, we saw. But that time, millions people died, because that time the standard treatment was not that much good. We don't have that much infrastructure. Now we have the standard treatment is good, but we need to keep on continuing good effort from the government, basically, to keep updated the hospitals, to make more standard treatment available, more more ventilations we need. We need special isolations unit more. So we have disease always. It's not the COVID-19 only, right? We have other diseases. So it's really hard for the frontline workers to manage this. So we should salute them. So they are taking their risks, their life risks, and they are giving us service. So that's the humanity. They are doing their noble job, and I really appreciate them. So that's the thing, we need to make awareness among the society. That is so important to continue or to accelerate the vaccination drive. We have to abolish fear from society. And that's why I would like to ask everyone to spread good words, to spread good blogs, not the media is propagating one people taking vaccinated, again affected. It's a news, and it's a breaking news. It's not a news. It's not a news. People can reinfected again. That's the science. So that's not a news. But people are doing that, if they are a political person or they are celebrity, so they are whole day. So basically we can get reinfected. We are vaccinated, we may get infected, but the severity will be diminished. The risk factor will be diminished. That's why we need vaccination drive. So, but the media, the same way I told you, there is very less scientific persons in the media. I don't see anyone have scientific background who are talking every day on coronavirus. So that's the problem. But who cares? But as a scientist, I care. I am explaining my concern. So now what I am doing. So as a scientist, I take the social responsibility. I'm here research faculty. I do my job whole full time as a researcher. I'm busy, really busy. But in addition of that, I took the responsibility basically last more than 2 years I developed a website, health science website for authentic informations providing and guidance. That is www.newcradhealth.in. So I don't have too much knowledge of website development, but I tried myself and initially started with blogging. And then right now, I started with English, I started with Bengali. So you can change the website in Bengali versions. And you can find so many authentic informations and enrich with science. My website totally emphasizes on not news, current scenario with the science to fight against the infodemic. And I am continuously doing with my own effort. I am doing expenditure more than 30,000 per month. I don't have any resource, any advertisement for that. I am doing in personal level. This is my personal branding. You can say I am doing personal branding. That's okay. I can take your note, but I am doing for the society. I am investing more than 30,000 in a month for bringing awareness for our society. So that is my effort. I am doing my job as by taking the social responsibility, you can tell. So I also started a YouTube channel. So now I have a doctor's dialogue program where I started with interacting with doctors and bringing on different topics, interesting topic which need to be addressed. And we bring all kind of awareness through this YouTube channel, Nuclear Health Bangla. You all are invited to go through my YouTube channel. It needs to be grow. Only I have 400 subscribers because we are not too much professional. We don't know how to reach out to more people, but we are doing our job. Slowly it is growing. And I have 2 Facebook page. One is a Bangla page, Nuclear Health Bengali, Nuclear Health Bengali page. You more than 70,000 followers are there, and I am bringing my full effort to improve the health literacy of common people. If you visit that page any day, just Nuclear Health Facebook page, Nuclear Health Bengali if you go and you will find me every day. I come every day. My opinions to fight against the infodemic, and so many people, Bengali people, general people are there in the platform. They interact with me, and I am trying my best as a without having any fun, any donation, only my contribution, my expenditure. But I am very happy to do it because I am returning my society. That's my one of the I am earning whatever I am earning. It's okay. I can I feel happy. That's the thing. Like I feel happy to contribute society differently. So that is my effort. And now recently I incorporated a startup in West Bengal in India. So Nuclear Health Hub LLP. So I am developing a health service related company, initially technology based, and later we will extend through different service including home care, others, medical tourism in the next page. But initially I am bringing the telemedicine platform. Maybe in June or July I am launching with at least 100 doctors. So we have so many competitions, but we are starting it. And I have different entrepreneurship program I launched. So many people are getting trained by me. More than 100 people are joining with me with this telemedicine platform. I am giving them training to bringing them independent entrepreneurs. So after 6 months or 5 months, you will see I already have more than 200-300 entrepreneurs whom I cherish. I teach them. I make them who have the passion but don't have the money. I am giving them opportunity to work with me together and collectively to make an empathetic, humane support different kind of healthcare system. But I am really I just is the seed stage right now. I have to grow, and that's a lot of challenge. But I have taken the challenge and moving forward to it. So thank you very much for giving the opportunity today, and I'm happy to take your questions right now.
Well, very many thanks, Doctor. We congratulate you not only for the way you enlightened us about the different aspects of the problems we're facing right now, And we also wish you all the very best for all the noble ventures you have just talked about. And I will be very happy to subscribe to your channel on YouTube. And we will tell others to follow you on Facebook as well, both the pages in Bengali and English.
Thank you very much. I really
That's
appreciate.
very noble and very humanitarian as well. Now, I would like to take questions. Audience, any
Sure.
questions from you? Any questions from the audience? The doctor is waiting.
Don't hesitate. Just make questions. Even your career development, you can ask me questions, because I would like to address a diverse way for the students.
Sir, may I? It's Gopal Chakraborty.
Sure.
Sir, what we know that like vaccination, continuous neglection is already mentally immune us. Oh, so in like said, and ruler and power holders in India played important roles on it. Okay, so nothing will happen. This is a tagline in India, basically for West Bengal. Okay, from them. So, what do you think that being a normal people, what we should do to stop these rulers or power holders, so that we can spread the mass awareness among the general people? Because doctors are already do the same thing, scientists, researchers are also doing the same thing, government are also doing the same thing based from their level. But apart from these, actually the general peoples follow the rulers or power holders, basically for the political leaders. Okay, so how we should act against it to stop, and because the pandemic is going really difficult to it's basically a very difficult, either we can stop those people, because mass general people are actually follows them, don't follows us.
Exactly. So that's a very good question. So that's the real questions, basically, for in society. So people follow them. They don't know who are the nearest scientists. Okay, that's true fact. So 2 days ago, I just watched a social media. I found a political leader was talking about, we are outside, we have sun can kill virus, so don't worry about it. I don't want to mention the name of the leaders. He is a C is a candidate for this election. So that's the problem. When millions of people following under their political opinion, like following their political mind, so they are following the leaders. That's the true thing. But I think we need to, the government at least, or the election commissioner, they can take the role. They can educate the leaders, who are basically giving all the lectures on panchayat level, on municipality level, on like other levels, or all the candidates, because they are right now vocal everywhere. So what we need to do, what you need to talk about, like COVID-19, because it should come through the government level and through the election commission, so that they can speak less. Speak less is better, because they don't know about the COVID-19. Majority of them don't know about COVID-19 infection, and they at least mandatory. They should do masks. Wearing masks is the best policy for everywhere, every crowd. I told, if you are a COVID-19 infected, let us suppose you are asymptomatic. Still, if you have marks and the other people have marks, there is a very less chance to get infected from them. But we are not maintaining that properly. That's the lack of awareness, and really hurting us, and it will hurt us. So in 1 or 2 months later, you will remember me, because it's definitely we are reaching more death. What we have today, maybe it will increase every day. More infection, 1.5%. Okay, or 1%. So you have to add up. So if more infection, that means 1% chance is to get moderate and severe, And there is if right now death rate is 1.5, let us suppose our standard treatment is improved, is reduced to 1%, still the number will increase. And if we have more infections, then the infection will be continued. Like, again, the third wave will come so quickly. The third wave will come so quickly with massive, basically the infections. And all the vaccinations right now, what we have, there is no data. Only recently Pfizer bring out a data. They said their vaccine is at least protective up to 6 months. There are no other vaccines candidate which are approved by emergency use approval. They don't have the data to say how long it will prevent us. Okay, so maybe this vaccination drive will continue. We need to take another vaccine. So we need to manufacture more and more. We have so many millions people, so it is not possible. Not everyone. It is not possible. Like, after 6 months, if you have to take again the vaccines to everyone. So can you think can you measure where we are heading? So basically, the politics should, in our democracy, politics is there, and they are eligible for doing politics. We are scientists. We are eligible for doing science. So they are politicians. They are eligible for politics, right? So they have right to do politics, but they should learn about current situations, because this is a new thing, and we need to adopt new way. Even the political rally can be moderated different way, like online, what we are doing. So it is possible. So. But it's the really challenge how much it is possible. But election commission may take the actions for in this scenario.
Thank you, sir.
With permission, I would like to add one more thing, that
Sure.
This is like us, the society, who decides how the society will perform and how the society will act. So being a normal member of a society, if we follow politician, if we follow actor and ignore all the doctors and scientists, our society will act in that way. So I would suggest everyone, just don't follow IPL, don't follow cricketers and politicians. Start following like young brain, young scientists who are performing for their society, for their country, and try to learn as much as possible. Like, this is kind of a mutual relationship, right? Like, we can't simply like act ignoring like a certain part of our society. Like, everyone has to like work together here.
Right, sir.
I think there is another question for doctors waiting in the chat box.
Chat box. Can you wait? Can you read the question? I'm not getting the chat because my presentation is there.
The question,
Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
Who should not get the COVID-19 vaccines? Yeah, there are some guidelines. Especially who are lactating their babies or pregnant women, and especially who have history of drug allergies. They should, and who have blood clotting or blood related some disorder. They should definitely consult with their physicians, before taking the vaccines. So, because there are some evidences, because the European countries right now, they halted the AstraZeneca vaccines because of they are assuming it may causing blood clotting. Although I saw the statistics, like 17 million they gave already, only 27 people shows the blood clotting scenario. And there is a study published in New York hospitals, basically during the first pandemic. So they have a study with severely patient and moderate patients, and they found some blood clotting, so related to COVID-19 infections. When you have severe COVID-19 infection, you may have some blood clotting related issues. So that is reported. So we don't know yet whether vaccinations make the blood clotting or COVID-19 is promoting little bit blood clotting. So that is very rare although. So these are different rare scenarios, but so that's why who have blood disorder something should consult with physicians, and who have some known drug allergies or previously known allergies after taking any vaccinations. So they should talk to physician and take decisions.
Well, I think Shamapriyo has a question.
Somapriyo, nice. Why? Which question could you please?
No, he hasn't written it anywhere.
Okay.
He's there among the audience.
Yeah, please.
Shamapriyo, please put your question to the doctor.
Champak, the Rajikul is also waiting. He's raising hand for questions, I think.
Okay. In that case, Rajikul. Rabiul, I think. Yes, Rabiul, your question, please.
So students, I would like to ask one more question, would like to advise you. Making questions is needed. You should ask with your teacher. Let us suppose something you are not getting, you are not understanding well, but you are feeling hesitations as what other people will think. That is not the way you are learning. Okay, you should ask question, and you will learn it better than others. Okay, I got a question. Is second dose of vaccine is much more effective than first dose? Is there any difference between the two? Yes, there is basically the two vaccines right now in Vaccination Drive. They have two doses, and they have interval between right now Covishield maybe 6 to 8 or up to 4 weeks. They have differences. So distinguish. The first is mild dose. We need to check the body, make PPR, and the second is higher dose. So that initially with mild dose you can measure the side effects, how much you are dealing with it, your body is dealing with it. If you have really with mild dose severe effect, so you may think about, doctor can manage you whether you will not take the second dose or not, because you cannot compromise, because there may happen severe side effects. So if you have a moderate side effect or severe side effect after having your first dose, you should report it. The people are not reporting. I saw all the vaccination centers, they are not giving proper direction for reporting. You should have to that, because there is a surveillance. All the companies, they already have the vaccines under emergency use approval. It is not a completely approval. So we people, we need to send evidences. Hey, I got severely infected, I need to doctor care after immunizations. That is a severe report, and that report is very helpful for drug development, vaccine development. Please report if you find any kind of moderate to severe side effects following vaccinations.
Very many thanks.